Anthony is the second overall player in the ESPN Top 100.
One of the highest touted prospects, maybe the highest touted prospect in the country.
His ability to get teammates involved and make it feel like there's camaraderie on the court.
He's going to be an all-ACC player and potentially a top 3 pick.
He has proven that he is one of those top players out there.
Cole Anthony, one of the most prolific scorers in all of high school basketball, figures to bring his bucket-getting ways to Chapel Hill, where he's likely to turn in an ultra-productive freshman season that could earn him looks toward the top of the 2020 draft.
Cole Anthony with a strong finish. He's a prolific scorer. It's the pace he plays with. He gets people involved.
Can attack the basket, can shoot the ball, and like I said before, he can facilitate too.
Although a little bit more explosive as a leaper, Anthony has some similarities to Kyrie Irving in terms of size, length, and body type. Anthony is a hungry, accomplished scorer who keeps defenses on their toes in transition, with his ability to either get all the way to the rim or stop on a dime and rise up from 3. He creates space with quick crossovers and is comfortable pulling up out of a variety of different dribble moves, even mixing in stepbacks to his left. He rises up over defenders in mid-range areas and figures to thrive in UNC's up-tempo offense. Anthony is aggressive going to the rim as well, using his quickness to get a piece of the paint before attacking the body of bigs. He's a trusty ball handler who can keep defenders off balance by changing speeds and directions. In the half court, Cole's scoring attack starts from the perimeter. Although he's a bit streaky, he's shown deep range on his 3-ball when teams go under ball screens. You can see it here on back-to-back Hoop Summit possessions. Nico Mannion ducks under the screen, and Anthony makes him pay from well beyond NBA range. When he's knocking down deep pull-up threes, teams have to fight over ball screens, and then Anthony has his way in mid-range spots, rising up going left or right. He gets great elevation on these short pull-up jumpers, making up for his average size. Switch a big out onto him, and Anthony can also make you pay, rocking him to sleep before drilling a hang dribble pull-up. He did a ton of damage getting all the way to the rim at the high school level as well, shifting gears and using his straight line explosiveness to get downhill. He does a great job of going from slow and relaxed to fast and aggressive on a dime, and utilizes basic hesitation dribbles to beat his man. Anthony also shows off his fearless mentality around the rim, rarely shying away from contact. He lived at the free throw line at the high school level, which should continue in Chapel Hill. While a scorer first and foremost, Anthony is making strides as a facilitator. He's at his best in the open court, where he'll find teammates with quick hit-aheads or thread the needle to lane fillers. He's an accurate lob passer, and his transition playmaking is perfectly suited for the Tar Heels' run-and-gun offense. In the half court, he's at his best in drive and dish situations, using his quickness to get into the teeth of the defense before dropping it off to bigs. He can also execute basic kickouts when the play is right in front of him. He's still evolving as a pick-and-roll playmaker, but if paired with an athletic big, he's capable of making basic pocket passes. On top of his scoring instincts, what scouts like most about Anthony is his competitive nature and toughness on the defensive end. Anthony is hard-nosed, pressuring the ball, fighting over the top of ball screens, and making opposing guards uncomfortable. He's done a nice job of maximizing his frame and does his best to recover to contest jumpers when he does get screened off. He'll also sink inside the big to take away pocket passes, which you don't see enough of from young guards. As you can see here against Cade Cunningham, he'll square up bigger guards and take hits right in the chest in order to contain penetration. He plays with quick, active hands and clearly takes pride in stopping his man. Off the ball, he's equally impactful, regularly stepping in to take charges. He took multiple charges in the Nike Hoop Summit game, sprinting back to the paint on defense to deter easy shots at the rim. That's a surefire way to win over his coaches and teammates at the NBA level. He'll also rotate over and uses athleticism to alter shots at the rim. He plays with his head on a swivel and covers ground quickly. He's also disruptive in the passing lanes, using his quickness to blow up plays. You can see his competitive nature here, sprinting back to take the hard foul on Nico Mannion even in an all-star game like McDonald's. Lastly, he'll stick his nose in on the defensive glass and mix it up, despite not being blessed with elite natural size. Where Anthony has the most room for growth is as a decision maker. He far too often settles for contested jumpers early in the shot clock. Here again against Montverde, 22 on the clock, in another deep contested three without even trying to shift the defense. He's not always the easiest guy to play with when he's relying so much on these contested transition pull-ups, rather than at least making an effort to get his team into an offensive rhythm. For Anthony to really justify the type of shots he takes, he'd benefit from becoming a more reliable perimeter shooter. He lives off a lot of early offense, long twos as well, here breaking off the offense against Montverde and playing hero ball. On top of his shot selection, Anthony can do a better job of getting his team into an offensive flow. This is somewhat of a clock-killing situation, but he dribbles the air out of it here, never getting USA into a set, and gives Isaiah Stewart a time bomb with 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Here he gets sped up by ball pressure, allows the blitz to take him way too far from the rim, and then turns it over on the late feed to the roller. Because he doesn't have the size to see over the top easily, he'll have to get much more savvy with changing pace and moving the defense to deliver the ball from different angles. Here he's unable to make the delivery to Jeremiah Robinson Earl as he has the mismatch underneath. Then here he misses both Robinson Earl on the roll and Isaiah Stewart on the ducking, settling for the step-back jumper. This is a great example of why he's not always the easiest guy to play with. He's more wired to score than facilitate, getting tunnel vision when he's on his way to the rim. He's not one to use both sides of the floor as a playmaker either, and even has some room to grow seeing basic reads. When Anthony does decide to give it up, the timing of his deliveries can also improve. Improving his ability to operate at different speeds, change pace, and manipulate defenses with his eyes will go a long way in making him a much more effective point guard. While hard-nosed, he's likely a one-position defender at the NBA level, lacking a degree of range. He's quick in small spaces, but he's not as effective against shifty guards who cover a lot of ground with their moves. He struggles against bigger guards also, as you can see here with 6'6" Cade Cunningham blowing by with the in-and-out cross. Nico Mannion, who's far from a physical specimen, got into his body a couple times also. While he works to contest, his 6'4.5" wingspan does limit his ability to really bother jump shooters on the perimeter. Anthony is also a streakier shooter than NBA scouts would hope, knocking down 35% of his 450-plus career attempts at the high school level. He's a tough shot maker, but with some of the type of pull-ups he likes to take, teams would like to see him knock down more shots than he does. There's nothing overly fluid or natural about his catch-and-shoot stroke either. Just how effective will he be in multi-guard lineups? Because he's not a physical specimen or a special playmaker, it's going to be important that he's making enough shots to prove valuable on the offensive end. Anthony got by on sheer aggression and athleticism as a finisher at the high school level, but he'd benefit from adding more finesse to his finishing package as the level of competition rises. He's so used to just going into the body of bigs, but likely won't be as successful against the Rudy Goberts and Joel Embiids of the NBA. He's also extremely right-hand dominant, doing whatever he can do to get to that side of the rim if possible. When he is on the left side, he rarely stretches out with his left hand, often just taking off and trying to figure out how to best get to his right hand in midair. Mixing up his footwork and finishing angles will go a long way in improving his at-rim efficiency at the highest level.
What's up? Thank you so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. Don't forget to download the ESPN app, and if you want more premium content, which you do, make sure that you subscribe to ESPN+. See you soon.